tell them, let's make a topic sentence. And they'll be like, Ms. Falk, okay, about shoelaces, how do we do that? I always use the story with my students, a baseball story. I don't know who told, I guess I came up with this, I don't know, I made this up. But for a topic sentence, I always said, the difference between that and a thesis statement is a thesis statement is telling you what you're going to write about, right? Exactly without saying I'm going to write about. For example, elephants have become the most well-known creatures in all of India since the moment of them stepping off the ark. That's what the whole thing is going to be about. That could be in your thesis statement, right? If that's what my whole paper is going to be about. But the topic sentence, I always said, imagine you are getting ready to bat a ball and you're standing in the stadium of a baseball field, okay? What you want to do is you want to strategically, you want to make those runners run for that ball. You don't want to hit it directly to them and say, catch, get me out. You want to get it still in the ball field, right? Because that creates a game, right? If you hit the ball where you make the runners try to get that baseball once you bat it out into left field or right field, if you make them run for it, it's a great show for the spectators. Like, oh, he hit over there, they didn't get to get it, and now he's running the bases, right? So, you're trying to create a show for your audience all the time. So do whatever you need to do to get them interested into what they're reading, right? You're trying to entertain the audience. So I would say, as you get up to bat, you're right here. You're getting ready to throw this topic sentence out there. You have two options. You can either hit the ball, hit your topic sentence, right? Start off your essay. You can either hit it straight back to the pitcher by saying, elephants are big creatures, blah. Or, I am going to write about. You're hitting it directly to the game is over, nobody's interested. The whole audience is sitting there like, oh, that was the most boring game ever, right? If you strategically hit the ball out into the field, not over people's heads, not out of the stadium, right? You're not trying to hit it out of the stadium completely over their heads like, well, the moon is not actually made of cheese. But cheese crackers are, I mean, it has nothing to do with, don't go too far out there with your ideas. If you let your students go too far out there, then there's no way to get back into the fields. Someone's got to go look for that ball. So, I would say hit your ball always to somewhere strategically where they're going to have to run for it, and you can run all the bases and get back home. If you hit it directly to someone, it's boring, the game's over, it wasn't a show, your audience is not interested. So the same thing with the topic sentence. Hit the ball in the ball field. Don't hit it directly at someone. Make it interesting. So, what can you write something interesting about shoelaces? What would you tell your students? Well, you're not going to just say, yeah, shoelaces were made in 1942. No! Get them interested in what am I going to read about? Well, let's say we're going to read about
all the things you can do with shoelaces.
All the things you can do with shoelaces. So, a topic sentence, I can get them started with the art of making shoelaces has turned into something more unexpected than anyone could ever fathom in the world of shoes. Now, when I read that, I'm not reading shoelaces were made in 1942, I probably wouldn't want to continue reading. If I read something and be like, if you have to ask a question after I read that topic sentence of curiosity, it's a good topic sentence. So, I would tell my students, let's go around. Do your topic sentence you've got, and you're going to have to depend. Honors, give them 3 minutes to come up with a topic sentence. Maximum 4. They should be able to do it like that. ESL, you might have to guide them through it, right? And say, okay, topic sentence, no, let's write this instead, right? And then, once you get it, say, all right, I'm going to choose 5 of you, and you're going to read your topic sentence. You better make me interested in it. So when I would point, I'd say, okay, when it's done, give me your topic sentence. And he would, and the funny thing is, students recognize what could be better a lot of times. They'll be reading it out loud, and they'll be like, and then, oh, wait, Ms. Falk, let me rewrite this. Because they were like, oh, I should have put this in there. Oh, this would have sounded better, right? If they're writing a biography about William Shakespeare, they're not going to put William Shakespeare was born in. William Shakespeare is a great writer. Those are things people already know. Get them interested. And giving a fact that randomly no one knows about, right? Or Albert Einstein, don't give the fact that he was a genius, everyone knows that. Give the fact that he was a C student in school. Give a fact that something that no one knows about, right? Something that gets them interested. So, I would have them read it, and my response was, that makes me want to know if this happened, or that makes me want to read more. But if it didn't, they had to rewrite the topic sentence. If it does not spark curiosity in my mind as a reader, change your topic sentence, right? Because that's what gets them interested. So, once you have them give the topic sentence, and I would write the whole topic sentence here. Give me and sometimes you go by by words. All right. Naya, let's say, okay, how can I make this interesting? Since the beginning of time, so-and-so, give me the next part. And they have to come up with this, they're creating it on their own. I can say, oh wait, don't use the word thing, think of a word instead of thing. Article, or object, or something that's different, right? So you have to guide them through this accordingly. I would write the topic sentence up here on the board, right? Then, I would have them write the thesis statement next. Always. Because you need to know where you are going. If you just write a topic sentence and then try to do the thesis statement way down here, you don't know where you're going. You need to know what is your whole paper about. Thesis statements should be very dry, not necessarily dry, I shouldn't say dry, but they should be very to the point. This is what's going to happen in my paper. Do not say, I am going to write about. This is what you're going to see when you read it. You're going to see that I mentioned, no, nothing. This is not a letter to personally to somebody. So, if I put this in order of steps, 1, 2, would be your thesis statement. And then, after that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots to fill in. Now, a student in their mind, how many of you hear your students when you say, all right, a paragraph, a good paragraph, 5 to 7 sentences, what do you immediately hear? 5 to 7 sentences, oh my gosh.
4,
I know.
3.
Don't tell them how many sentences to write, because watch, when I did this with them for topic sentence, or for the paragraph, I may tell them in the beginning, obviously it's going to be about this, and you're going to have this many paragraphs. I don't give them specific checks on how many sentences, because I would say, all right, you got your topic sentence, let's move on, thesis statement, you got that, go ahead and write it in. All right, now how am I going to get from here to here? And the kids will say, well, what do I need to do? Well, give them maybe history now about shoelaces, right? Okay, so history, maybe the date which they were created, because now I've already got the reader interested. The date they were created by so-and-so in a little factory outside the town of blah, 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 right? So, and you can put question marks. It doesn't have to be history. It can be another interesting fact. But if you're getting towards the idea that, I don't know, thesis statement could be a lot of different things. It could be, there are over 4,000 different types of shoelaces made now in this many countries, blah, 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 blah. That could be what my whole paper is about. So, this is my next step, 3. Then I'm going to get down even closer until I get to the thesis statement. They're going to play around with this a lot. Go to step 4. Okay, after I said something about the history of it, now what's something else I'm going to address in my paper? Well, I might address that,
What they're made of.
what the materials that they're made of, right? So I'll put materials and, I don't know, imports. What if, I don't know, what if they have it imported from somewhere, a special kind of film? I don't know. This we're making this up, right? They're going to have to look for these facts. 5, after we talk about what they're made of, we can have another set. These are my only one sentence about
colors?
Exactly. Variety. Now, I'm doing this shortly. They should write an actual sentence here. They should write an actual sentence in each of these. So, we get down to this one, and this one should be the one right before your thesis statement, okay? Which is, what was my thesis statement? What did I say? There are this many types of shoelaces and this many. Okay, so 6 can get them. Let me get them interested to get them what I'm going to talk about, right? These small articles are not just something to hold your shoes tight on your feet. Or, I mean, if we don't use second person, we can take the you out. So, the purpose, even though, although shoelaces are great for keeping your shoes, or keeping shoes fastened on one's feet, comma, the wide variety of shoelaces is considered to be a new fashion icon among young generations, or something. And then, thesis statement that there are this many different kinds and colors and whatever. Okay. Once
Where do you place your thesis statement?
Towards the end of your first paragraph.
Oh.
Towards the end of your
Yeah,
first
I
paragraph.
do the same thing.
But,
Yeah, it's funny because
because I was doing that, and I wanted them to write their thesis statement first or second, because I wanted to be very clear. And because you can place thesis statement in the first paragraph in various places.
Yes, you can do it in various places.
And I told them for now I would like to see it, and I want to make sure, no, but at the beginning of the, and so they were like, no, but it has to go at the end of the first paragraph.
Yeah, it always goes at the
Well, that's what I told my students
You
last
can,
year, because it's easier. I told them it's easier for you to see it at the end, and you know exactly what you need.
And thesis
Write
statements
about
often give order to things. Order, like if you're going to write about 5 different types of cities, you list them right there in the thesis statement. Exactly. Now, a thesis statement, if they're creative enough, not now, possibly yes, 8th and 9th grade could do this. You can create a thesis statement. They even did this last year in my class. I taught them how to, if you wanted to, you can put a thesis statement into 2 sentences. Possibly, and in some cases 3, but your paragraph has to be really long. And if you're really creative and you do it well, you can put it at another part in your paragraph. But you have to teach them how to do that, right? And how to change other sentences for it. So, once they write this and they've got the whole paper, don't tell them anything. Say, great, all right, this is due. This is pre-writing part. This is part of your pre-writing process. This is due. Now, let me remind you, this is after they do their outline. This is because their outline in general, I mean the brainstorming outline. After, not the full official outline, their brainstorming outline of just like, I'm going to write about this in general, which in a second I'm going to put a web up here, what I use for that. So, this is once they're getting into the writing mode, the real writing mode, okay? So, once they do the topic sentence, the thesis statement and all this in between, you take this with you and you check it. Just make sure it's okay, the grammar's okay, everything. Then, once you've checked it and they've turned it in, you return this triangle the exact same way, I mean obviously correct it, to them, and then you say, you make that comment, all right, your first paragraph has to have 5 to 7 sentences, because you will immediately the first time hear, what? Oh. And then you go, excuse me, hold on. So-and-so. Count the sentences that you've written here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's your paragraph right there. If you wrote it well here and you correct it, that's your paragraph. That's your first paragraph right here. Okay, this little triangle.
This you would do as a group, all like collaborating, but then another triangle about their topic is what you would.
Exactly. I'm doing this on the board, and
that's for the first paragraph.
This is their first paragraph, just their first paragraph, and now they can see I constructed this without even necessarily doing the planning and this and that and coming up. They did it all on their own, right? Now. I did this on shoelaces. What do? I leave this on the board and I say, turn over your papers, choose your topic, and do the same thing. Now, honors can do this. ESL's class might have to work on separately thesis statement and topic sentence, and then on another day fill it in here at the top and at the bottom. It depends on how you feel that they're able to do it.